We're asked which of the following is true. Now we have the first one. In doped silicon at 300 degrees K, nearly all the acceptor atoms have accepted a hole. Is this true or false? Well, at 300 degrees K, this is our room temperature, and these notes can be found in the description, link below the like button. But in 300 K, nearly all the acceptor atoms have not accepted a hole. This is not going to be true. And that's because, well, just because we're at our room temperature, it's nice. The atoms, they take time to accept it. So just because at 300K, we're not going to say that all the acceptor atoms have accepted our hole. But let's keep going. So now we're going to look at C. In doped silicon at 300 degrees K, and obviously this also cannot be all of these because it's not the first one. In doped silicon at 300 degrees K, nearly all the donor atoms have donated a free electron. Well, at room temperature, right, or 300K, there is enough thermal energy to break some bonds and create electron hole pairs. Now, holes have to deal with donation, and this is called thermal generation, and it's true at any temperature greater than 0 degrees K. And holes move by having other electrons from adjacent atoms hop into them. These free electrons and holes are charge carriers that can move around and conduct electricity. The N is their number of free electrons, P is the number of holes. Now P holes is going to be seen as positive, while our electrons, N, are going to be seen as negative, and there will be a video more in depth about that in these notes in the playlist link below the like button. But for this one, it's going to be true, because when we're at our 300 degrees K, we have enough thermal energy to break bonds, and we can create our hole pairs. And our hole pairs have to deal with the donating, so hence the donated part. Now let's keep going. So in part D, in doped silicon at 300 degrees K, nearly all the donor atoms are negatively charged immobile ions. Well, there's a few things that are true here. All the donor atoms are negatively charged is not one of them, because just because we're at our 300K, it doesn't mean that all of our donor atoms are going to be negatively charged. Now, are they immobile ions? That would be true if we were to do this, right? So both holes and electrons leave immobile ions. Once we move our donor atom out, it's going to leave an immobile ion, but this would be false here. So this is not true. In doped silicon at 300 degrees K, nearly all the acceptor atoms, so we'll look down right here, and I guess we should have been looking up here for this one, and that's just above our acceptor. But going back down to the acceptor atoms are positively charged, so that is correct, and they are immobile ions. And I actually made a mistake right here. The negative part was correct, just like our positive charge is correct. So both the negative and positive is correct. So what is incorrect? Well, it's the part where it says nearly all the donor atoms, or nearly all the acceptor atoms. That's not correct, because when we're at 300K, it's going to take a while to do this, and they are both not like that. That's not how it's going to work. But in doped silicon at 300 degrees K, that's our room temperature, nearly all the donor atoms have donated a free electron. So once it hits like this, and there's holes here, we're going to donate a free electron into those holes.